the lovely Karen Baum on Burgh, Vivant. It's about time.
I know, I'm so excited.
I have been waiting for an opportunity to sit down with you and just shoot the breeze, because it's been a while. We see each other in passing, and it's always like,
exactly,
you
hugs
know?
and bye.
Right. Because we do go back a ways. You know, people might not know this. We were in conservatory together.
At the Point Park.
Now, I won't say who was ahead of who, because I don't want to, give anything away as far as age, but I'll just say we were there at the same time.
We were there at the same time.
Same place and same time. And you were wonderful back then, and it's great to see, some of our classmates, what they've gone on to do.
I know.
Or in my case, what they haven't done.
Oh, you're doing it all.
I ended up in this ratty old tuxedo.
Oh, ratty old tuxedo. Well, you at least have a tuxedo.
Well, there we go.
There you are.
There we go. So, there's something to be said then of arts education, because, some kids get right out of high school and they'll go to New York or go to LA.
Yeah.
But do you feel that having gone and gotten a college degree in performance has helped you?
Yes. At least with the people that you meet along the way and them giving their advice from their own personal standpoint. And I think that's one thing about having the conservatory, because a lot of the instructors and professors were working actors, directors, and everything. So they at least can give you like, hey, do this. You might not want to try to do that, or if this happens, suck it up and deal. But there's also something really enticing to be said about somebody who's just like, I'm doing it now. Maybe they'll give themselves a deadline, maybe not. And it's just brave,
So you've been very successful in Pittsburgh. It seems to me that you're working pretty consistently here in this city.
I've gotten lucky.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's ebb and tide all the time. And it's one of those things that you can just say and everybody's like, well, yeah, it is ebb and tide. It's either luck, fortune, or whatever, or just drought. And it's why we do this, I don't know. But I tried to explain to my family before, you're going on job interviews every waking hour in hopes that maybe you'll get something for like 5 weeks, 6 weeks. But I've been very lucky.
Because we're just picking great plays that have a Karen Baum
I'm just
role.
very grateful that they're even seeing my face in the door. But no, it's exciting. It's exciting this season, next season. Hopefully will be as well.
And you've worked a lot with Picked Classic Theater.
I have.
Picked, I think, really cultivates sort of a consistent group of players, a team
a really nice
of faces.
family company of people, whether they're designers and writers and everything, my gosh,
And you are getting your time to shine in a one-woman show that is opening with Picked. It's in preview September 1st, opening night September 3rd. Shirley Valentine.
That's right.
And that is you.
Yeah.
You, a whole lot of Shirley.
It's a lot of Shirley.
So who is Shirley Valentine?
Well, Shirley's pretty much Shirley. And she is a middle-aged housewife whose kids have just moved out of the house, and she's a storyteller. A lot of times we just find her either recalling events and attaching to a story, like we do. And through that, she finds out more about herself, her past, the present, and what happens is always the big question. What do I do with this? What is going to happen? Or am I just going to stay with my stories? It's always about discovering and moving forward, and if you can, or staying where it's safe. Everybody has a good story, or about somebody when they're little, or about, an event in their lives. And a lot of them, I found a lot of common ground with them, which I'm like, okay, cool, but somebody will always be like, yeah, I know that person.
Well, in the areas that you do not find common ground with a character that you're playing, I mean, how do you relate? Like, for example, Shirley has been divorced, right, and has had children.
Well, she's married. She has 2.
Okay, she is married. Okay.
The old woman who lived in a shoe was divorced and had 10 children.
Right. So, for life experiences of this character that maybe you haven't had yet, where does an actress, or and you in particular, relate?
Well, that's when you start going to like, okay, what do you think that has to be like or feel like? And because it doesn't matter, like any walks of life, they all feel sadness. They all feel elation. They all feel something. What can you kind of stretch or imagine that person in that situation would feel like?
And this is going to be in somewhat of a different setting for Picked.
It is.
At Union Project in Highland Park, where the audience is going to be very close to the action.
Close,
So
yeah.
how do you feel about that?
Well, because I'm excited, but it's weird because we're rehearsing now, so we're not in that space yet. It's going to be a whole different ball of wax whenever we get there. But I think the challenge is really exciting because it's playing all around all the time, and instead of narrating something or instead of going one-on-one with somebody, the challenge is with this one, it's just, you're telling the stories. Bring them in, they're there, but I think having them closer will, especially, at least for this show, will have them bounce.
Intimacy is a word that's coming to mind.
There you are. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you tell I've been saying a lot of words today? I'm thinking the
Well,
words
right, we're
are
catching
happening.
you right after rehearsal,
Right,
and again,
I'm
in
grateful.
a one-woman show, there are a lot of words coming out of you. So technically, how do you approach something like that? I mean, it must be a beast. I mean, to memorize.
Usually people ask that question a lot. How do you learn those lines? And sometimes you're like, well, you just do it.
Yep.
There are a lot of words, and sometimes that's my main answer when people are like, how's it going? I'm like, there are a lot of words. There are a lot of words. And she's from Liverpool. There are a lot of words that a Liverpool resident speaks. But luckily, thank you, Alan Stanford, can break that down when my brain kind of fizzles. And I get that deer in headlight look. And he's like, no, this is what is being said. And the repetition of the rehearsal has been helping a whole ton, and just figuring it out and stretching it out. There are days when we might only get 2 pages in, but those 2 pages make crystal clear sense, which, shoot.
Now, since we're contemporaries, I have to ask you, has it gotten harder with age? Because for me it has. I cannot memorize stuff I used to be able to.
So my theory is that it has nothing to do with age, it's just the accumulation of all the other crap in life that kind of piles in your brain, and there's no room. So either you forget to put shoes on, or you might miss a line for a second. So that's my rationale.
I know some of us get into this business because we want to be anybody but ourselves.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, any day of the week.
So there's no 2 paths that are exactly alike to success.
That's right.
Was that valuable?
I loved it. I'm
$20,
gonna put it in my pocket.
please.
Oh, I'm gonna
$20.
put him out of the.
Put it on your tab.
That's it. Oh, where's that?
Do actors get nervous? Do you?
Are you kidding? I'm nervous now. I'm nervous. I'm happy, but I'm nervous. Oh yeah, I think I was nervous since I found out this was happening in a good way. But you got to be nervous, because if you're not nervous, it's not right.
Right.
Right? I mean,
It's too easy.
right? Okay. Because if it's not, then oh man, I got to reevaluate. Oh.